This is page 2 of the 5 representations of linear equations. Another problem, another page. One situation fills up the entire page. I can do a lot with it. So suppose that the water level of a river is 10 feet and that it is receding at a rate of 5/10 foot per day. Write an equation for the water level L after D days. And how many days will the water level be 6 feet? Okay, I'm going to read it again and I'm going to pause on certain things. Suppose that the water level of a river is 10 feet. Where did the river start? It started at 10 feet. My y-intercept is my starting point. So right now I know that my y-intercept is 10. And that is receding. Receding means going down, so I'm going to put a minus sign there. At a rate, here's my rate, and my rate of change is, I'm looking for per, or what changes, and what is changing is my feet per day, okay? So this is 0.5. And because there's a decimal in the thing, I can have decimals in my problem all over the place. Okay, this right here is super important to pick up in reading because this is always your y over x. When it says foot per day, you know that your y is going to be feet and your x is going to be day. I love it when word problems give me that. But if I didn't pick it up there, it's going to tell me again. It says write an equation for the water level. Okay. Also, this is water level. Gave me my title. And it said equation after D days. So this is level. And this is feet. So this is, so messed that up. That's level in feet. Just told you up here that x was day and then came down here and did it wrong. And level in feet and days. So when it says, I'm sorry, I'm moving it around, my paper doesn't fit all in the screen. So feet per day, I have level per day. Okay. Notice that the y is your dependent variable and your x is your independent variable. That is consistent all the way through math. Okay. Where did I start? I started at 10. Every time I have a 0, 10, my starting points are always in my format. Let me write it over here. Starting points always are in the format 0 and a number. Okay, going to show you my scale. This time I'm going to do it better. So I'm up at 10. Here's where my water, I know it's receding, so it's going to be coming down. It's going to be a negative slope. On the first day, I go out and it's at 9.5. And on the second day, it's at 9. Yeah. And on the third day, it's at 8.5. And on the fourth day, it's at 8. Fifth day, 7.5. Sixth day, 7. Seventh day, 6.5. And so on. Equation. So my equation is always in the format of y equals mx plus b, where my y is rate times x plus starting point. So it's y equals, what was my rate? My rate was 0.5, 0.5x. Where did I start? Oy, 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 oy. Oh, I'm going to get so many calls if I did it that way. I started at 10. I receded at 0.5 per time. So this is going to be changed around only because it's a receding, but that's fine. Because if you filled it in this way perfectly, it would be 0.5x, but we're receding. So that would be a negative 0.05x and your starting point of 10. You could write it that way, it just looks odd. Okay. How many days will the water level be at 6 feet? Well, I filled in my chart, and so I could say 7. I'm going to show you something really, when you calculate slope from a graph. I'm going to jump from point to point and tell you directions how I get from point to point. And I'm not going to use these dots. I'm going to only use dots that land on what's called a crosshair. So I'm going to go from this point to this point. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw kind of a right triangle. And your first movement is either up or down. And this one you're going to go down, 2, and you're going to go right, 4. Well, down in math is a negative, and right is positive. And then you simplify it, and if you know that my rate is receding, and notice I just put a negative, so it's receding at negative 0.5, and when I calculated slope from the graph, it was negative half, which those are equivalent. I'm going to do a couple more pages, so that is page 2. I'll go to the next concept in the next video.